As a matter of fact, when I was in high school, I was actually put out of my class.
Kwaminat TV, promoting African businesses home and abroad. Kwaminat TV.
Welcome to Kwaminat TV again. Today I'm here at Pantai, somewhere in Accra, with my sister called Efia, a beautiful lady who was born in California, but now lives in Ghana. Diaspora talk is just to share your experience. What you have seen or what you have experienced in your birthplace, which is in the western part of the world, and now in Africa. Also, how comfort and how beautiful it is when you are at home. Keep watching Kwaminat TV. Like, subscribe, and share. Yes, we are back. Our topic today is about diaspora. Diasporans who has come back home. And before I will say anything, look at my left side here, a beautiful lady sitting down there. She is a massager as professional. But I'm not going to say much. I will just let her introduce herself as we do it. Welcome, my sister.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Eti say.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm glad you can speak a bit of Ghana language.
I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
Yes.
And I think the best thing to do, integrate, is to understand at least one of the language.
Oh, absolutely.
You will be more comfortable in anywhere you move.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Okay. Who are you?
Well, my name is Afia Kalia Tunabakojia. I was born in California. I grew up in Compton. Most of my adult life I've lived in Los Angeles. I've done a little bit of traveling, and I'm a mother. I have 3 beautiful children. So I decided to make the decision to repatriate about 5 years almost. This August will be 5 years that my children and I have been here in Ghana. And yeah, so we're in that journey of appreciation, learning, Sankofa, just coming back to our homeland, coming back to our roots, and redefining ourselves as Africans.
You define yourself as African?
Absolutely.
You were born in California?
I was born in California.
Grown up in California?
Yes.
Educate yourself, everything in California. Have you ever thought that you are American?
No. As a matter of fact, when I was in high school, I was actually put out of my class because the teacher was telling us, oh, well, you were born here, and so this means that this is who you are. And I said, no, that's my nationality. That has nothing to do with my race. My race is my bloodline, my ancestors. And they was like, no, that's not correct. This is what we teach, and this is the rules and how we look at things from an American standpoint. I said, again, I am an African. I was put out of the class. So from very young, I was clear that I was an African, and Africa is where I wanted to live.
How do you feel that you live in the Western world? Everything is there. And you said you are an African. You're an African. Why? There's nothing in Africa. Why is it that you say? Because a lot of people who would leave Africa, Western world, and come here, who live in America, which everything is there, and come to Africa.
Well,
and at that time, you haven't been here before.
true.
So how do you feel? I mean, tell me the feeling. How did you? Yeah, because people here want to go back. Want to go to America, want to go to Europe, want to go to, but they just want to get out from Africa.
Right.
And you are coming to Africa.
Yes.
So how? I can't understand. Just tell me.
Okay, so for me, the way I look at it is that everything comes from Africa. Everything comes out of Africa. Even the fact that I speak English right now, this is not the original language of my ancestors. So understanding that even the people that was taken from this land to help build Europe to help build Africa, to help build the world outside of Africa. Africans have always been explorers, travelers. So the world is Africa. If you really want to look at it and think of it that way, the world is Africa, because there's no place on this planet that Africans have not gone to civilize, educate, and populate the people, to bring them up from a level of, I'm going to say, savagery, especially when it comes to the discussion of Europe. So I think that when people think that the Western world is so great and Africa is so poor, it's the opposite. Africa could not be poor, because otherwise, why would all the so-called philosophers and all these researchers and all these scientists come here to study mathematics, come here to study science? Why would they come to Africa if Africa has nothing to offer? Why would they come here? Why would they send their best here to learn and study in Africa if Africa has nothing to offer? So I think it's just the opposite. I think Africa has gifted the entire world with its children, with its science, with its mathematics, with its art, with its culture, with its everything you can think of that is connected to our advancement as a human race and our understanding of what we see today as technology. You would not have a cell phone had it not been for an African in Africa. And even the people who are behind the scenes right now today in 2022 that are responsible for the coding and all the technology, the technical advances right now are Africans. They come and they take people from young. They take young
Intelligence
Africans,
Africans,
and they take them and they mold them, but they use their genius. That genius belongs to Africa. So I think it's just the opposite, if you ask me. I think that the world owes Africa a big thank you, a big acknowledgement, and we as a people have to take back our dignity and our pride and our ownership of who we are and what it truly means to be African. We're the builders, the mothers and fathers of civilization, period.
You've been in Ghana for about 5 years.
Yes.
Do you think Africans are thinking like the way, or do you think Africans know exactly their value? Let's put it there. Do you think Africans know their value?
No.
The locals?
No. Maybe a few people, but I don't think in a mass way that we as Africans know, because a lot of us have been properly brainwashed, successfully indoctrinated into believing and thinking that we are, again, at the bottom, that we are the less intelligent, the less beautiful. Like, this is what has been taught and has been forced down our throats for thousands of years now. And I think that if people actually studied the world history, not just the history in your particular country, because Africa is a continent, and so when we look at Africa as a whole, and then we think about all the different civilizations and all the different kingdoms and the eras that we've been in rulership, I mean, it's far beyond the 400 years of enslavement that we now, we look at and we say, oh my goodness, this happened to us, but it's such a small, you understand? It's so small part of our history as African people. It's such a small part of our history when you look at the impact and the total. We've been here for so long. There's no real date that you can put on it that you can say, okay, Africans have 100% only been here for this amount of time, because we're the first. And we will be the last.
Okay. Before that, you how do you declare describe yourself? You were born there and you are an American. You're holding an American passport, for example. Do you think you one day say that, okay, I want to go back to America because that's where I was born and I think I'm an American? Wouldn't you change your mind one day?
One day. Would I change my mind? If I take a puppy from its dog, its mother, no matter where I put it, no matter what country I take it to, no matter how many cats it's mixed in with, it's gonna always be a dog. So I don't, for me, it's simple. For me, it's simple. No matter
it's
where
just
I
a tricky
go,
question that I
even
want
if
to
I
ask
go
you. Yeah.
to Asia and I learn the whatever
the
language
language,
of the
yeah.
country I'm staying, I learn the culture, I assimilate very well. I'm still in Africa. In Asia. It doesn't mean now I become an Asian woman. I don't care how long I let my hair grow and I slick it back and I tie it and I do all the cultural and I wear the cultural makeup. I'm still an African in makeup. Period. No matter where I go, no matter what language I speak, I am an African.
Okay, tell me now. Just let's put us one aside and tell me much about yourself. Why do you decide to come? Why do you decide even to move to Africa? I know you said you have always been African, but why do you decide to move back to Africa and why Ghana?
Okay, so for me, it was a childhood dream. You know, the moment I became conscious and aware of the fact that there's another place in the world where people look just like me. Their hair, their nose, their eyes are like mine. Because growing up in America, seeing everything whitewashed, right? The depictions of beauty, the standards, like, this is the way I was born, this is the way God created me, and your entire life is being told that you have to change something in order to be acceptable. So for me, and I think I definitely was in elementary school. I probably was in around maybe like the first or second grade when I started to have some form of consciousness about being an African, because, you know, during Black History Month, they would show us movies and they would tell us stories about, you know, just the Civil Rights Movement, Dr. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. This is the only time that we would get some type of history about Black people contributions, and it all was centered around, again, slavery. Nothing was before slavery, so it was almost as if our existence started with slavery.
Slavery, yeah.
Right. So once I became aware as a child that there is a place called African where they actually took people and they brought them here to the Americas, and this is where they started to indoctrinate and teach and break into people's mind to create this so-called American, this so-called Negro, however you want to, you know, phrase it, Black person. Then at that moment I realized that, okay, wherever that place is, I want to go. Because I want to be somewhere where people look just like me, so nobody would tease me for having nappy hair, because everybody hair is nappy. No one would call me dark-skinned girl or blackie or African booty scratcher, because we're all the same thing. So it was a common sense. Again, for me, it was common sense. Yeah. But I think that for my people in general, like, we're so miseducated and indoctrinated, and a lot of it stems from fear, post-traumatic slave syndrome, our understanding that you can have a child and you can go through traumatic experiences, and that child through your womb will receive that energy and be born with some type of emotional memory connected to its parents or their grandparents' lifestyle. So it's not far-fetched that we, hundreds of years, and I mean, for some of us, like for myself, I was raised in a household with my grandfather. So my grandfather, we grew up learning and listening to his stories about how he grew up, and the fact that he worked on plantations, and the fact that he still had the information of the two plantations that our family was separated, and siblings were torn apart, and some went to this plantation owner and some went to that plantation owner, and they were separated for so long that people forgot that they were even family. You understand? So now these people, as they get to be the adult, they say, you don't date those people with the last name Smith because they might be our cousins. You know, and you can't date that girl over there because, you know, that's really your sister. Mind you, you have no communication. So some people, the elders or the historians of our family who felt that it was important, which it was, and thankfully so, to hold on to that information. My grandfather was one of those people in my family that held on to that information to pass it down so that we have some type of history and understanding of who we are and where we come from.
Keep watching Kwaminat TV, like, subscribe, and share. And we are still on the Diaspora Talk. So, Efia, have I even asked your name? Have you?
I did.
You did?
Yes, Afia Kalia.
Hey, Efia, your name is so beautiful. Wow, yes, and you gave me. How do you get this, Efia? Have you? Have they give you a family that you belongs to, or you just took the name Efia?
No, well, so my first trip to Ghana was in 2011, and I came with a family, a group that was doing tours, the Cambons. I believe you might know them.
Yeah.
And so it's the Sankofa Journey. That's the name of the tour. And so I came my first trip to Ghana on the Sankofa Journey, and during that Sankofa Journey, I did receive a name from an elder, and so Tunaba Kodria was her name, so she named me during my...
Tunaba Kodria, was it in Ashanti region?
Yes.
You went to somewhere around Kumasi's area?
Yes.
So you are Ashanti?
Well, not by blood association, but by just the spirit and the love of the family and the name. So the Cambon's family, I know Dato Badale Cambon, he is I guess he's one of the main directors, him and his parents. And they still do tours, from the States to Ghana. So my first trip here to Ghana was in 2011 with the family, and I received the name at that particular time. And when I went back to the States, I legally changed my name to get rid of my slave plantation forced,
name,
because they took our original names from us when they took our language from us, and they forced us to leave our homes. That was one of the first things during the Sankofa journey that I was very proud and happy to be a part of that process and receiving the name. So yes, I am born on Friday.
You were born on Friday.
Yes, I am born on Friday, and Kalia is the name that my mother actually birthed me with. So I didn't change that part because that came from my mother's Ashe. So I received that. And my last name, which is from my father and whoever owned his father, the plantation name, I changed that. So my full name that I am legally recorded as having is Afia Kalia Tunaba Kudra. And so, I've been operating my business and everything, my license, everything has been under my name because I legally went through the process and go to court to renounce the slave name.
How do you feel?
Oh, it was very liberating, For me,
did you
most
feel
things
something
is about
in you
freedom.
that you are free?
Most things is about freedom.
Roots.
It's a journey. You understand? For me, it's a journey. So getting here to Ghana wasn't enough for me to say I'm now free. Having my name back wasn't enough for me to say I'm now free. It's the whole journey is to, again, learning my language as I'm still working on learning Tree. And eventually I will also do Airway and some other languages.
Oh, you want to do more?
Yeah.
So speak Tree. Speak Tree.
Kakra.
What is Tree?
Kakra. Metechu kakra. Kakra.
And fear no more wabatina high. Who feel say I'm speaking English. Oh, you see, this is how it is. It is very difficult for even we that were born here to speak straight Tree. We still bring colonial masters language in.
Yeah.
And this is what is eating us.
Yeah.
We can't speak our language direct. So the development of Africa is very difficult, mostly places like here. People look up to Ghana, but how many Ghanaians can speak their language throughout?
It's true. I think I was doing better with learning the language when I was outside versus when I got here to Ghana, because of the, sometimes you don't say things correctly, and people get frustrated and they say, okay, forget it. Just speak English.
Just speak English.
Yeah, so you even get a lot of push and encouragement to know, no, speak English. Or sometimes people who are, you know, of course confused, they will tell you, oh, no, I want to sound like you. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you mad? You know, in Ghana, you say, are you mad?
Yeah, one more now.
Yeah, so, but now, like for myself, it is a priority for me to get the language and be completely fluent in the language here. It's a priority for me with my children, and this is something that I encourage other diasporans who are coming over to do as well. So when they come, they ask me, is it important for you to learn language? Absolutely, it is very important for you to learn a language. You cannot build with people, you cannot really have a strong bond and relationship without having that communication. Communication, I always like to tell my children, communication is like arms to a hug. You cannot hug someone if you don't have arms, you know what I mean? So that communication is very important, yeah.
So let's go back. We've done with California. What are you doing here in Ghana? Do you work, you have own business, or what do you do?
So, I'm a massage therapist by trade, but I more so like to consider myself a natural healer because most of my work I do more intuitively. So I specialize in energy readings. I specialize in energy work, body-mind readings. If someone is having any type of aches and pains in their body, I can pretty much pinpoint and go through their body and help to relieve or at least guide them through their process of healing. I also am an artist, so I do spoken word poetry.
Spoken word poetry?
Yeah, rap.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Can I give you a freestyle? Of your a bit of poetry?
Some poetry, okay.
Some poetry. Then you say you raps as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So give us first the raps, because that one is the one that I can just use it, you know what I mean? So rap, give us a freestyle.
Okay.
A bit louder, but because today we didn't have our wireless microphone with it, so just bring it a bit louder so that.
Okay. Yeah, because I have a small voice, so I'm always needing the mic.
Okay.
I'm never performing, I'm presenting. Who I am, the knowledge I be spitting, got your mind, that attention I represent. The GODDESS, fully dressed, so you can see my chest through my heart. I'll start.
Yeah. Okay. Can I give us one more?
Poetry or?
Yeah, no, the raps is good, so I want to see my steps now. So give us one more.
Let's see. I have an album that I did, a mixtape, actually here. It was
Ghana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did
there's a
alone
couple
or you have
videos. So I worked with a live band, and we recorded everything live.
Oh, right.
So yeah, all the musicians, they all played the live instruments. So, and that one is a mixtape. Yeah. So
That should be good.
yeah.
So give us one more. Sankofa. Hey.
Let's see. So this one is it's actually from my album. It's a track called We Gotta Go.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
I was saying Yanko.
Yanko. Yeah. So actually, it's funny that you say that because if you listen to the song, the actual chorus, we actually say Yanko. So there's some tree in there. So I've managed to incorporate some small tree inside the song.
That is very encouraging. Yeah. Okay, let's go. I'm ready.
Okay, so let me see. What verse do I want to start off with? No, you know what? Let me go back. Because there's a video for that, so people can actually look that up. I want to do something more political because that's where my background comes from as an activist. So that's something that I did not mention.
Yeah.
When I was in the States, I used to do a lot of community work and activism. So that is a huge part of me and who I am as a person. And I was just speaking with someone the other day about, prisoners of war, political prisoners, because no matter where we are, as Africans, we tend to be political prisoners. We tend to have these, because of the colonialism that we suffer. Yeah. So I'll do this poem/rap from a song called POW.
P-O-W.
Yeah, prisoners of war.
Prisoners of war. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is some of the experience of some of the women, you know, that were.
Were you yourself in the army?
No, I wasn't. No.
Is some of your family in the army?
Yes. Yeah. So the song was again called "Prisoners of War."
P-O-W.
Prisoners of War.
Yeah.
So and this is actually taken from real life accounts. Flashbacks of a belly big kicked by pigs. Meanwhile, they would smile as they crushed her child. Spread eagle style, arm and leg and arm. She woke up handcuffed to a hospital bed. Though she survived, her belly was gone. The young spirit went home. The only light she got didn't come from parole. I forgot the rest.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've done it.
Yeah, but it's still good.
Maximum
it's still
security.
Good.
Yeah, it's been such a long time since I've done that one. But it's called POW. I hope to re-release it here in Ghana to give people.
Is it online?
No, it's not.
It's not.
I want to. So I recorded it, but it's something that I never released.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
As an artist, you know, we have so much work that we
you write
do
it down,
and we don't. Yeah.
You write it down, and you just some record even the master, but they never release
Exactly,
it. Yeah.
and I have a lot of that.
You have a lot of.
I have a lot.
I hope Ghana is going to give you. I mean, you're going to have the opportunity to release it in Ghana, and there's a lot of Ghanaian musicians which also you can collaborate with them. Even mostly the young artists are coming. Mm-hmm. The young ones are coming. That they are good.
Oh
So
yeah,
not the big ones, but the young ones are
there's
coming.
There's a lot of dope artists here in Ghana.
Yeah, some of them, you know. When I see some of the Ghanaian youth are singing, and I look back to Michael Jackson and all those, the way they are, and then it's like that thing is in the blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what about the poems?
Poetry, yes. So, oh goodness, I'm like filled with poetry. It's like, so what kind of poem do you want me to do?
Anything.
Okay.
Just do something. Just say something to the audience too. So
Something
if you're
to
watching,
introduce
yeah, something to introduce yourself. Yeah. So if
Okay.
you're watching Kwaminat TV, like, subscribe, and share, and leave comments. And with this poetry and the raps that goes on, if you're a musician and if you're looking for a collaboration, you know where to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So poetry. Something old, something new. Why I am the way I am. Why I am the way I am. You see, just as my birth to this earth, I feel like I had no choice. I was born to be first. Although the third out of my mother's womb, when I was born, love hit the room. The color red fed my head, but no doubt my eyes and mouth were blue for the things I had already seen. You see, everything was in reverse, and my mother didn't have me, I had her from birth, breaking the family curse. Sent here to reverse the shame of my family name. Aquarius is my birth name, and my mother child said when I came, the nurses would take me from my crib, wishing and kissing on me. Affection made love to me. When I was born, I gave my mother cavities, and the doctor said I was too sweet, so to watch me. For I am born gay, well that's what they say, for I love my own kind so much that I get an orgasm from just one look at the many shades of browns I see walking around. And the visions of me, you couldn't capture, not even on a DVD, slow motion matrix styles, and there would be no repeats. That's why the strangers out the street have to speak to me. It's my energy, not my chemistry, for only the real can see me.
Wow, this is amazing, guys. You see, as I said, black people has talent. They are creative. This is just a poetry. See, sometimes I don't know even what to say if I see brothers and sisters coming back home.
Right.
I mean, you have a lot of experience. We have best, as you said first, we have best engineers, we have best inventors, we have
Yes.
best lecturers, we have everything, we are best.
Exactly.
But we still see ourselves very low and down. And they treat us anywhere we go that we are nothing.
Exactly.
When you look at, I'm not going to go too far back, look at when the COVID started, look at what happens in China.
Oh yes.
The way they treat the black people. Look at Ukraine.
All over the
just a
world.
few days ago.
All over the world.
So why? And why don't we see that Africa is where we belong?
Africa, as Africans, if we unite, those of us outside And when I say outside, I mean wherever you are outside of Africa.
Africa.
Wherever you are outside of Africa. If those of us, even for us who say, you know what, I've been away, I've never been there, I don't think I can live there, okay, but still like other people do, send your investments, send your money home, build your country. This is what we need to do. I would say, me, myself, we need to come back. Just come back, you know, figure it out. Because at some point, the Africans that were taken from here and sent to wherever you are, Jamaica, UK, US,
spread it out.
Wherever you are, it was not easy for them. They didn't know the language, they didn't know the environment, the food, all these things. They were forced to adapt. So now we have to also do our best to come home and force ourselves for, and this is something that has to be done for the generations that are coming behind us. We have to be willing to make that sacrifice, to go through the frustration and the aches. And I mean, there's nothing that I can experience. I mean, I've had my 5 years. It hasn't been all easy, but there's nothing that I can sit here and say I've experienced in Ghana that is worse than what my ancestors went through in America or anywhere else outside of Africa. The enslavement, the rape, the torture. There is nothing, even just the breakdown
the police brutality.
Yeah, the breakdown between the man and the woman. You know, the fact that they made it to where the old are against the young, male against the female. Now we have people who are like, they're so confused. You understand? So I feel like whatever I have to endure and go through so that my children and their children will be born here in Africa and heal our bloodline, you understand? Heal our genetic memory so that we have something positive to start feeding back into our race so that we can not be so diluted. Because right now with all the mixing that's going on, everybody is trying to get a little piece of us, not just the resources that come out of the land, but the actual blood of our veins.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody wants to come and marry and you know, mix in, because you know, really they're not going to be here much longer. I mean, genetically speaking, scientifically speaking, I mean, you can look, they doing the research, they'll tell you if we don't do something, if we don't kill, that's why they have all these coronavirus
and all. And it's
I
all
won't say
sort of,
too much, but
no, it is the truth, because the truth is out now. It's not only on the platform that people are saying that the corona is a fake or something like this. There's a lot of rumors going out.
These are man-made diseases, population control at the finest. You understand? So I mean, and their idea of population controlling is controlling the population of us.
Yeah, but
they're doing everything that they're doing everything in their power to again create duplicates of themselves. You know, engineer to where they can. Now they're trying to get men to have babies. You understand? They're having 4 or 5 babies at a time. They're trying to make where they can guarantee you to have twins. This is what they're doing for themselves. Meanwhile, trying to sell poison and drugs to us as a people, self-destruction by sabotaging ourselves, by not allowing our minds. You know, young people, they start drinking and smoking so young that they fragment even their own ability to see their future. So by the time they get 18, they're so, you understand, they're so broken down, even just on the biological level, that they're not even able to procreate. They're giving you these immunizations that are making the woman barren, not being able to give birth. You know, a lot of the women are walking around and they can't have children. A lot of the men, they can't have children. And we don't think that it's a big problem, but it is. It's genocide.
It is a genocide.
It's genocide.
So what should we do?
Well, me, myself, my children, my family, and so many of my friends, we're here in Africa. No matter where we come from, no matter what we had to go through, we are here in Africa. We are building. We're trying to learn the language. We're trying to break into icebreakers, to have cultural exchanges so that we can get to know each other again. Because even though we're the same color and we look alike and we look and we see each other in each other, we're so different in so many ways, but there's so much in common that we have. If we just get past our little nuances and cultural differences, we'll see that, wow, we are the same people. You understand? And it's so important for us to unite So this is what it is for me. It's about, number one, coming home and bringing some type of idea to Ghana. You know, bringing business, you know, don't just come here and be like, okay, I'm just going to chill. No. We don't need people coming to just vacation. I mean, do come to vacation, like, you know, vacation here in Africa, but yes, also come with the understanding that bring something to the table. Don't just come to see what Africa can do for you. Also see what you can do for Africa. Yeah, so me as a healer, I do my business. I also encourage my daughter. I have 2 daughters, 15 and 14. I have a son who's 6. And my daughters, they're young entrepreneurs. They have their own business, you know.
Oh.
Yes.
The 14 and 15 have their own business. Oh
It's
wow, we're gonna shut it down. Yeah,
yes.
we're gonna shut out here.
Popping herbs, popcorn, you know, and once popping herbs.
Popping herbs. Oh, popping herbs.
Yes.
Like
popping
herba.
herbs.
Like
yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, popping herbs, popcorn. Okay. So this is their business, and I mean, they make the popcorn themselves, and we go out and we sell it. We do events.
How does it taste?
Oh, it's delicious, and I'll make sure you get it back.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna taste it before I leave here. You know, I like food. You know, my audience know me.
Yeah.
For food, I don't joke with it. So.
And this is the best popcorn in Ghana. Everybody says, hands down, it's the best popcorn in Ghana. So hopefully everybody will get a chance to taste it soon.
Oh yes, then it's going to go viral.
Oh yeah.
That thing is going to go. So you yourself are poetry. You write poetry,
music,
and you do music, and you are a massage therapist, and at the same time a healer.
Yes.
So you have about 4: music, poetry, massage, and healer. And your kids are on their entrepreneurs.
They're on their own.
They do their own.
My daughters, they both sing, so they're looking to start a YouTube channel actually real soon. Both of them sing. They have beautiful voices.
They should start it now, today.
They can start it?
Yeah. They should start it now, today. They don't need to wait.
Oh, well,
they should start it now.
You know, spontaneity is a beautiful thing.
Oh, of course. They should start now. We should have a name and start now.
They cook, and they have their popcorn. And they also, my daughter is an artist. The oldest one is an artist. She has a comic book that she's working on, an African-centered comic book that she's working on, with, you know, like all the characters that they look like us, you know what I mean? So for young girls to be able to look at art and they're into this anime stuff, but I'm like, this is Asians, this is Europeans, where are we? You understand? Where are we? So she's doing it so we can have something that yes, Africans to be able to look and see, and when you look online, to be able to have your own reflection, your own culture, your own story. So we're working on her building this comic book.
If you're ready, just tell me.
All right.
When it's ready, just tell me. But before then, I will taste their popcorn.
Yes.
I will taste it. And also, I didn't bring my this, and I will have tried the massage this thing for the people to know how good you are.
You know what?
But then
there's so my table is in there because I also do house calls.
All right.
I take my table.
House calls. What do you mean by house calls? That means someone will call you, come home, go to the person's house, and do the massage for the person. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, I mean, if both can deliver food, why can't I deliver healing?
Both deliver food and you deliver healing. That is good. And do you also let people come to your home?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you have a special place for that?
Yes, I have treatment rooms here.
Okay. Can we later on see that place?
Sure.
All right. Oh, that's very good. That's very good. So I think guys over there, when you work and tired too much, call Efia.
Yes.
Call.
Goddess Touch Therapy.
Yeah. Just put your social media handles and your telephone number before we continue.
Okay. So the name of my therapy is Goddess Touch Therapy, and you can WhatsApp me, you can reach me. I also have a page on Facebook, also on Instagram. It's Goddess Touch Therapy, Healing the Body Mind. My telephone number is 050-297-3850.
I think we'll repeat the telephone number again.
Okay, 050-297-3850. and that's Goddess Touch there. Healing the
And
body,
the
mind.
Instagram too is the
Yes, it's the same thing.
same thing.
Yes.
Okay. The Instagram is okay.
And if you want to follow me on social media, as for my artist page, it's Afia Kalia Music. And the same thing for Facebook, Afia Kalia Music, all together.
Afia Kalia Music.
Yes.
I think Afia will be easier for the people to spell, but just spell it.
Okay.
Although it's going to be on the
AF,
stream, but
yes.
just spell it for them.
Sure. So it's AFIA KHALIA.
That's
and-
the Kalia.
Yeah, Kalia.
Kalia.
Kalia. And then music, spelled the regular way.
Kalia.
MUSIC.
Afia Kalia. You are a therapist. Is that what you live on here?
Yes.
That's what you live on?
Yes.
Was all your kids born in America? Or
Yes.
somewhere? All your other kids were
Yeah,
born in
my
America?
youngest son was brought here when he was 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's 6 now. He'll be 7 this year.
Oh, wow. So he was also born in California?
Yes.
Where are your parents?
My parents are in the U.S. still.
Oh, they're still there. They're still alive.
Yes. My
Are they-
mom plans to come visit me here. She will come and spend some time with me.
Oh, let mom
Yeah.
come. Let mom come. Let mom. Has they been here before?
They've never been here. I'm the first in my family to touch down in Africa.
How many
period.
siblings do you have?
I have 3. I have an older sister, I have an older brother, and I also have a younger sister.
Also, you are 4.
Well,
they're all together is 4.
2 different mothers, so.
Or
yeah.
2 different.
Yeah. But I don't want to not say,
That's fine,
because
that's
it's a
fine,
different
yeah.
mother, So I have 3. There's 3 of us from my mother and my father that we were raised
Yeah.
together, all in the same household. And then my father later, a few years
Few
after,
years,
because
yeah.
they separated. When I was a baby, so he also had a child. But she's my sister, so she's my sister.
Oh, yeah. That's your sister.
Yes.
Do you, there's one question that I want to ask, and I've seen it, I've heard it a lot in sometimes if I'm watching this lady, Oprah, is Oprah
Oprah
Winfrey
Yeah.
show, and sometimes Stephen Howard show, and some of the shows that black ladies that do shows or talk shows over there. There's a lot of black Africans or black Americans or African Americans relationship breaking down, like brothers and sisters. And when we say brothers and sisters, we got married, and you see it's easy for single parents in the States, or in not only in the States. I also see it in UK. Yes. A lot of relationships broken down, a lot of single parents. Do you have any idea what it's all about?
Well,
Is it the system, or what are we going
I
to say?
think it has a lot to do with the system and the indoctrination and the breaking process of, Africans turning them into what we are today. You understand? So as I was saying earlier about pitching the old against the young and young against the old, male against female. So it was systematically designed this way for us to not be able to, number one, trust each other, because the first thing that they did in order to instill fear into the woman, who is the mother, who is the first teacher of the child, they would take her husband and they would string him up in front of her. They would feather him. They would burn him on fire. They would take the strongest, most bravest warrior, and they would kill that person. And they would make sure that they would do it in presence of the mothers, the sisters, the daughters, the wives, and especially if they were pregnant, so they can, again, instill that fear. So when that child comes out, the first thing that mother is going to think is to teach that child how to be safe. And how to be safe in America at that particular time was for a male child, not to talk back, not to express his masculinity. So you became weak, and over generation to generation, the men have gotten weaker and
Comply
weaker and
with
weaker,
whatever
and then,
they say.
yes, and
Comply
then
with whatever
women
they
don't
say.
respect that. You see what I'm saying? Well, because that's not natural.
No.
That's not natural. A man is a protector and a provider.
Yeah.
It's innately in us as human beings. And a woman, so we're nurturers. So And we also providers, protectors, because we're educators. So naturally, by our instincts of trying to protect our children, we teach our children to what? Obey and don't cause trouble with the white man. You understand? So you teach your son to be physically strong but mentally weak, so that he is not killed, because you're trying to again save his life.
Save his life.
Right. So this happened for so long. Now you have a breakdown of, because the man who could not protect his woman, let's say you see the white slave owner going into the room and raping your wife or your sister or your mother or your daughter, and there's nothing as a man that you can do about it. So how do you look her in the eyes when he's gone, when he leaves the room, and now you get to come in from your already 16 hours of working in the hot sun? How do you come in and now look at your wife or your sister or whoever as a man who could not protect her? How does she look at you when she's always dependent on you for that protection? You understand? So we felt so broken. Everybody buried their pain. That pain eventually it started to take its own identity, forming this so-called, now you got these BITCHs, this is what they want to call themselves. Now you got these guys who, I don't give a care, I'm so detached. They have children with people they do not, want to be around, because they were forced not to be able to be around, because they were treated like an animal when they were taken from plantation to plantation to just mate, because the Europeans were again trying to create the perfect Negro, So they would, let's mix this one with that one, and this one, we should get a better complexion. They would mix a little bit of their blood. Again, this was a systematic thing that happened for over 400 years. So, and what people don't understand also about that slavery experience is that not only were women raped, men were also raped.
Oh, men were also raped?
Men were also raped, very much so. Men were also used as bed warmers for white women.
Oh, okay.
But also for white men as well. A lot of homosexuality, because if you look at the Greeks and all of them, that was a part of their culture. They was very much like
into that.
Yeah. So when they started coming and started taking these Africans, they would take them and they would do whatever they want for them, because mind you, they never saw us to be human. They never saw us to be human. So man, woman, whatever, it doesn't matter if this is your son. I, as a woman, if they thought that, they don't know the relation and they don't care, because they don't speak our language, they don't even understand us.
That's true.
So they're like, make them. You're like, hey, this is my daughter. How can you, when we couldn't even communicate in that time? You understand? Everything was by force, by beating, by, you understand? So, by torture. So we learned because we had to learn, because of the system that we were living under. Yeah. It was impossible. It was impossible, and those who went against were killed. And the worst of it is sometimes you're not just killed, because I think many of us showed that we are not afraid to die. Many of us had gone and said, fine, kill me. But the torture, it doesn't only affect you, it affects the people you leave behind.
You leave behind, yeah.
Yeah. So when you see that, your natural instinct as a father, as a mother, is to protect your young.
Ones.
So a lot of times, we had babies, we had children. Our children were sold, Yeah. Our children were sold. Our wives, our husbands were sold. Our families were destroyed, snatched apart. And then later on down the line, and at least going into the 70s and 60s, where, again, slavery's been over for a while, right? Okay. So now you're dealing with the system where now they're telling you, in order to get some type of aid, because once they say slavery is over, now the racism that still exists, that created the slavery, is still there. So people are still being killed with no justice, right? You can just, the Ku Klux Klan, which started off what we call now the police.
So basically,
they wore
the
sheets, the Ku Klux Klan,
they wore
KKK,
sheets
and they
cross.
went and they terrorized and they killed and they raped and they just kidnapped people whenever they wanted to. There was no law for black people or Africans.
There was no any protection.
Once the so-called slavery physical chattel slavery ended, there was still no protection for Africans and black people of that time. So again, what we had to do to survive, you had to what? Be very docile as a man. Speak soft. Don't look the man in the eye. Look down. And then the woman, don't try to look too pretty, because then the white man might be attracted to you, and now he gonna try to have you working in his house. Why? Because he wants access to you. So this is, I mean, our families have been ripped apart, torn apart, and then now, let's say the 60s, 70s, and